I'm going to begin, Sienna, just by asking you what it was that initially attracted you to getting involved in American Woman.
When I read it, it felt like a complete odyssey. It felt like a character study that was complete. And sometimes I feel like I've done supporting roles in big movies and it's been a lot of work to be impactful in smaller moments. This felt like an opportunity to play someone in their entirety and to grow and evolve as a character, to start off as someone you might not really respect and by the end hopefully love and respect.
I mean, the character she's an incredible person. I mean, she has a kind of strength that I think only a kind of mother has, and a kind of especially sort of, I think being a single mom could be like having a superpower. I'm just wondering about across your career, do you learn from characters you play and adopt traits from them in a sense that when you play characters who are very strong or people that overcome things or anything like that, do you ever find that in your real life you start kind of taking parts of them and being inspired by them?
Yeah, I think you probably do. I think maybe subconsciously. I think if you spend enough time sitting in that kind of experience, which is essential if you want to do a good job, you are probably affected by those people. But I don't sit there and go like, I'm going to be Maud. No. You know?
I mean, the character. I mean, because as the title suggests, obviously American Woman. I mean, this is it feels a very American story, a very American character. I was just wondering about the kind of nuances of being an American, because I think it seems so easy. Oh, we're English, they're American. It seems like, oh well, we're all the same. But I guess there are sort of subtleties to people and the way they carry themselves that are dependent on where they're from.
I'm sure that you're influenced by where you grew up. I spent a lot of time around that area looking at people and meeting people from there, listening to dialects and women that I'd recorded from that specific town. The rest you just hope falls into place.
Because I mean, you seem to be quite attracted to some of your roles are very American stories. I mean, there's obviously American Sniper, Mississippi Grind, which I just loved, Loudest Voice, Foxcatcher. These are films that feel like they're kind of really studying the American culture and maybe perhaps the flawed kind of version of the American dream. I was wondering what it is about that kind of those types of movies that appeal to you.
That's just what I was offered. Oh. No, I'm kidding. No, I think America is such a vast place. It's such a new country. It was really created, and it's the most powerful country in the world. And yet the underbelly of it is very different to how we imagine it. The blue-collar versions of these stories I think are interesting to me. And there hasn't been a lot of thought that has gone into that specifically. I'm as interested in English stories, but for some reason that's where I've ended up. I don't know why.
Does it feel quite like, because I've spoken to actors and actresses before that have kind of moved from England to America, and they've sort of said that it feels like a clean slate. It feels like in England people can they work in projects and people start getting typecast or pigeonholed into certain types of roles and stuff like that. But when you sort of go to America, it feels like sometimes it's a chance to completely reinvent yourself. Not that you needed to, but did it feel like a bit of a fresh start with this new move?
I think with moving to America, I think it just felt, I felt like there was just a very strong perception and a lot of history for me in England, and I think it did feel a little bit like a clean start. But I miss England a lot. I mean, I'm here all the time, so. What
would you say is the one thing you miss most about England?
The irreverence.
Most people just say tea.
And a pub.
I was wondering about, obviously you have such a brilliant chemistry on screen in here with Christina, and I'm just wondering about we put so much emphasis into kind of on-screen kind of chemistries between men and women and kind of, people that are falling in love and stuff, but that kind of sisterly bond is kind of intangible. I was just wondering about when you first sort of met her, if that came quite naturally to you both and what it was like working with her in this project.
No, when we first met, we were a little bit shy in front of each other, and Jake Scott had this idea that he was like, I know, we were rehearsing, and he said, why, I want you two to go upstairs and just put makeup on each other like you would have done as sisters. And we were both like, oh, it was just a nightmare. And she said, to be perfectly honest, I think that's going to make us feel even more embarrassed than we do already. And that was where the bond happened. I was so relieved that she'd bailed me out in quite a kind of older sister way from doing something that I wanted to be sort of enthusiastic about but was dreading. She saved me from that moment, and I loved her ever since.
So my just final question, just wondering what you're sort of working on at the moment, if you've got anything coming up.
I have so much press at the moment. I have this coming out, and I have 21 Bridges coming out next month, and that is sort of it. I've also I did this Gucci thing, so that's been a lot of work. I'm sort of waiting for something spectacular. So I'm not shooting right now.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!